Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will share with you 4 tools or knowledge basically about pre-development or things to know either during your psychic development as well as before you begin to develop your gifts psychically. It'll just help you to understand why certain things are happening the way they are, why you may be experiencing certain experiences, and hopefully it'll just bring you some enlightenment. So without further ado, we'll jump into this video. The first thing I'm going to share with you is Hogwash Rules. So as you develop your gifts, you may hear people say things such as, or you may read, for example, that you should never drink alcohol while doing any type of spiritual work. You should not eat meat. So you should become a vegetarian, or you could hear people say things such as, do not eat anything before you do any type of spiritual work. When using the tarot, go by the tarot card meanings alone. Auras have specific colors and specific meanings. Things like that. You may hear and read things like this. I call these Hogwash Rules. That's my personal opinion. These are Hogwash Rules. The reason for this is because it's a load of hogwash. It's rubbish. Please do not believe every single thing that you hear, because you're going to hear a lot of things. When you're starting out developing your gifts, you will hear a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is hogwash. What I would suggest, and this is what I do and what I teach my students, I would suggest using your own intuition to help guide you. I personally find that I connect better with spirit if I have a few drinks. For example, if I'm doing mediumship nights for locals, and I'll have a drink or two, and then I find I really connect with spirit. This is because I'm a lot more relaxed. And I love to eat dinner, and sometimes I even have psychic dinner parties where we eat and we do readings together. And so, you can eat. It doesn't matter. Basically, use your intuition when doing any type of spiritual work. What feels right for you. There's no right or wrong way of doing things. Just trust your intuition. You'll know from your gut instinct what works for you, what doesn't work for you. For another person, being a vegetarian or not drinking any alcohol during spiritual work, or knowing the exact meanings of each tarot card, these things may be 100% spot on for that particular person, but for you it may not work. Everyone is different. We're all individual people. So this is why it's important for you to use your intuition and let it be your guide when it comes to performing any type of spiritual work with your development or anything like that. Basically, there really is no set rules or guidelines when it comes to developing your gifts. It is an individual experience. You go by what works with you. You use your intuition. You trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, or if you feel it doesn't work for you, then trust that. Go with the flow. Go with what works with you. Next, we'll look at development negativities. Basically, what development negativities are is, as you're growing on your spiritual path, you're developing your gifts. This is all helping you to raise your vibration. And there is a force out there that wants to stop you from doing this. So it'll bring irritants and upsets into your life to try and distract you and draw your attention away from developing your gifts. And this usually lasts over a 3 to 6 month period. So the good news is after 3 to 6 months, will be different for everyone. If you can persevere and not let outside influences stop you from developing your gifts, then these development negativities will pass, they will leave, and it'll be onwards and upwards from there. You can just develop and grow spiritually and be on the path that's right for you. I call it development negativities. It is like an outside force that doesn't want you to grow spiritually, that doesn't want you to develop. Because the more you develop your gifts, the more your vibration rises, the more love and light you spread to others and the planet, and the more you're in alignment with your soul journey. So it's like an outside force that comes in. And it may make things happen such as dramas in your life, issues. You may find that there's one thing after the other. There's always something else that you need to be dealing with that draws your attention away from your development. That makes it hard for you to develop your gifts because there's so much other stuff that keeps cropping up and keep going on. That's development negativities. So it's important to keep your focus on your development and not let these development negativities get in the way. I've known so many brilliant psychics and mediums who have given up their development because they couldn't handle everything that was going on in their life. They had to deal with this, deal with that. They couldn't cope with the development negativities. And it's so sad because they had such potential to go really far. So no matter what life chucks at you, keep plowing forward, keep working on your development. And it only lasts 3 to 6 months. If you can get past that period, life will return to normal again. Things will calm down. And it'll be smooth sailing from then onwards. There's a few other things that'll crop up, which we will talk about next. But getting through this first 3 to 6 months of your psychic development stage is crucial. And that is almost like the big test. It's almost like the universe is testing you. And that's why I don't think the psychic negativities is actually a negative force. It's more like a test. I see it like a psychic test, like your guides, your angels, the universe. They're testing you to see how much you actually want to work on this development, how much you want to grow, how much you want to work on this life path. So they're testing you to see whether you can really make it through these next 3 to 6 months. And if you can do that, you'll see so many doors opening up for you. There's a huge world out there. So just keep persevering, keep moving forward, and you'll be onwards and upwards. Next, we'll look at development side effects. This is another thing. These are all tests. Just remember, these are tests, and there's reasons for why everything happens. So, development side effects. As you grow spiritually and your senses begin to heighten, you may start to notice that strange things begin to take place in you and in your life. The reason for this is because your vibration is rising higher, and your senses are becoming more alert, more heightened, and they're developing, they're growing. Because being psychic means having heightened 6 senses. When your senses are all heightened, the more heightened they are, the more developed they are, the more intuitive you are, the more psychic you are. As with, for example, puberty, you notice obvious changes. This is the exact same thing with growing and developing your psychic gifts and growing spiritually. It's just the same. You notice obvious changes. So I'm just going to share with you a few things that you may experience, especially at the beginning stages, the first year, you can say, of your psychic development. This will just help you to understand more why what's happening to you is happening. And yeah, so don't freak out if you experience any of these things. So the first thing is you may experience blurred vision or oversensitivity to light. Feeling as though you are on a different wavelength to others, like you're not connecting with people that you used to connect with. You feel different to them. Conversations that were once stimulating are now boring and dull. You don't get the same buzz out of them anymore. You're a lot more positive now than you were before. Colors and all that is around you just seems brighter and filled with a lot more life, a lot more energy. You may feel that you are drifting away from people in your life, usually people who are not as risen as yourself. So as your vibration rises, you will connect more with people who vibrate at the same level as you. So those who do not vibrate on the same level as you, you'll find that you'll feel disconnected to them. You just won't feel that same energy that you felt with them before because you're at different vibrational levels. You may experience a throbbing or a pressure in your head or the sides of your heads, on the sides of your temples. You may also suffer with headaches, migraines, and blocked ears. Another thing is people will be more drawn to you because your vibration would be risen, it'll be higher. People will feel more comforted by you and more at ease in your presence. So you may find a lot more people are drawn to you and drawn to your energy. You could go and stand at a bus stop and you'll have people sharing their life stories with you, telling you their problems. People just feel really safe and comforted in your presence. You'll be like a magnet that will draw people to you. You'll also draw people to you who need help and who need support or who need guidance. And you'll intuitively just know how to help these people, how to connect with them, and you'll empathize with their energy. Just make sure to ground yourself, because at this stage, as you're developing, your vibration's rising, so you're like a sponge. You're soaking in other people's energy, and this can cause you to take on their feelings, their emotions, their illness, not their illnesses as such, but you'll just feel drained and feel out of sorts. So it's important to spend a lot of time in nature and to ground yourself, and just to keep yourself grounded so you're not soaking in too much of other people's energies. So the higher you raise your vibration, the more you'll be like a human sponge, soaking in every energy around you. So spending time in nature is very important. And I do a course, which I will have a course in my Etsy shop on how to keep yourself protected and grounded. You may get days where you feel low, depressed, out of sorts, for no apparent reason. You just feel really low and down. This is development negativities, as we mentioned before. They'll try and hinder your development. So that's another thing to look out for. You may find that everything seems to be going wrong, or your self-confidence in yourself and your gifts and your abilities are low, and you just want to give up with your developments. You'll have days where you lack that self-confidence and that self-esteem in yourself. You may find that 1 week you are on a high, you're feeling so positive, so motivated and so vibrant, and you're feeling good, you're feeling like you can take on the world. And then in the next week you may feel like just giving up, as though you can't cope with it and it's too much, and you just feel down. Again, this is all development negativities. They come to you in so many different forms, so definitely keep an eye out for them and just work through it. It will pass. It only lasts 3 to 6 months. Right, next, other things, other development side effects are you'll feel a deep need within you for change. You'll really feel this craving, this need to change your life. You may want to change your job, change your hair, change your looks, change your home, change your friendships and the people you hang around with. You'll just feel a calling to change your life. And this is usually to get you to be living in a more higher vibrational way. So if you've not been living in a high vibrational way, or there's things in your life that are not healthy for you, things that are not good for you, then as you raise your vibration, you'll be moving away from those things that do not serve you anymore, those things that bring your energy down, those things that are negative or are not of a high vibration. So you'll want to make positive changes. You'll want to get more healthy, more fit. You'll want to focus on healthy eating, focus on improving yourself, improving your life. It's all that self-improvement. So you'll make some massive changes, and you'll be drawn to make these changes. Also, new opportunities will fly into your life. New doors will open. It'll almost be like you're finding that all these opportunities are falling into your lap, and you'll be showered with so many gifts and blessings. You'll think, wow, I just feel so lucky. I feel like everything's coming together. Everything's coming together so beautifully for me. So that's a good side effect. You will become more aware of your blessings in your life. You'll start feeling a lot more gratitude for what you do have. You'll start appreciating everything around you. You'll notice just how much love and support you have around you on a daily basis. You'll want to surround yourself with positivity. You'll find that anything negative or low vibrational will just disgust you. You'll be not drawn to it. You just want nothing to do with it. You just want to feel positive and be in a good place in your life and in yourself. You may find that you become more creative. You'll have a lot more creative inspiration, creative ideas springing to mind, and you'll just be really drawn to arts, to crafts, to colors, to creativity, and you'll be inspired and motivated to really let your creative side out. If you don't feel that you're a creative person, you're going to learn sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted, too much talking. You'll learn a lot more creative projects and ideas. Just all this creativity will come to you, and it'll be absolutely amazing. You'll love it. You'll find that you'll have a thirst for anything spiritual. You'll want to learn. You'll want to grow. You'll be reading everything up about psychic development, about spiritual matters, spiritual growth. You'll be drawn to all of this. It'll just be like a calling. You'll feel it, a craving. And the more you learn, the more you want to learn. And you just want to, you may even stay up till late at night, just soaking in as much information as you can. You just want to learn and grow and develop. You'll feel a lot more sensitive. You'll be more sensitive to the needs of others. You'll feel others' emotions a lot more. You'll feel you'll connect better with people. It's like you can really feel what they're feeling and you can empathize, and you just be more sensitive as a whole. You'll want to surround yourself with candles and incense sticks, and you're really getting in touch with both your masculine and your feminine side. You'll be blending the two together, and so they marry perfectly together. You'll be building a healthy balance within yourself. You may feel a need to really connect with nature, to have quality time on your own, quiet time for reflection, time spent in nature. You'll be really connected to the earth and animals and plants, and you'll want to spend a lot more time surrounded by plants, nature, and animals. Everything will seem so much louder. It's like all your senses will come alive. Sometimes everyday sounds will seem to be so loud it could actually hurt your ears. You'll want to just loud noises, anything, even soft sounds will sound louder. Everything will look brighter, seem so much brighter. All your senses will come alive. Basically, you heighten your senses. The more you raise your vibration, the more you develop your gifts, the more all your senses are heightened. You may find that you feel temperature, for example. You feel the temperature changes a lot more. So if it's hot, you'll really feel it. Cold, you'll really feel it. Your own temperature may go up and down, up and down. You may keep feeling strange sensations and changes in the atmospheres. You'll feel energy that's around you. You'll be more in tune with energy. You'll feel it. You'll see it. You may see a lot of heat waves like you see on a hot day coming off a hot pavement. You'll see that more often, and see mists and lights, and you'll start having a lot more creativity in the mind, basically, like, how do I explain it? A lot more psychic impressions, visions, like little movies playing in your mind. You'll want to remove all negativity that's in your life. You do not want to be around negativity. If anything's negative or anything is just not of a high vibration, you'll just be repelled against it. You won't want anything negative. You just want things to be calm in your life. You want peace in your life. You'll become, again, like I say, so much more sensitive, but also emotional, more empathic, and you'll have a deep feeling of love for the planet and for others. You'll know your purpose. You'll find out what your life purpose is, what you're here to do, and you'll want to work on that purpose. You want to grow. You want to develop. You want to develop yourself as a whole. And you'll have a deep hunger to learn, to grow, to move forward, to change, to evolve, and to work on your life purpose. So it's such a rewarding feeling. Development side effects, there's negative ones and there's positive ones. But it's all to get you to a really good place in your life and help you to raise your vibration and be more in tune with those around you. We'll now look at vanishing gifts. Don't let this scare you. It's all right. As you grow spiritually and your gifts develop, you may find that gifts that you previously had somehow seem to vanish. You may also find that new gifts come into play and are heightened. This can be quite daunting. It can be, and you may worry, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm losing my gifts. What's going on here? Please do not worry. Do not feel alarmed, as your gifts have not actually gone, but they're only hidden for the time being. They're on temporary hold. I like to call this gift hibernation. It's like your gifts have gone into hibernation, just temporary, and they will come back. And then new gifts will come. And as the new gifts comes, the others will hibernate. The reason for this is because different senses are being heightened. As you grow and develop, you're developing different senses, and so you're developing new gifts. And in order for you to really get in touch with these gifts, your other gifts have to almost go into hibernation briefly so that you can explore your new gifts, work on them, develop them, grow them. You need to learn a variety of ways of communicating with spirit and angels, and some of your gifts will be better for this than the other gifts. So it's almost like your gifts go into hibernation, basically. But they're not gone. They will come back. And when they do come back, you'll have all the gifts, the old, the new, and any other new ones that you have will all be strong, and you can use them all whenever you need to use them. So it's basically building your gifts, learning them, and growing with them. It's like learning a new subject. If you're trying to take on and learn maths and English and a whole ton of different things at once, it can just be too much. It can be like overload, and you can't really learn and develop any specific subject because you're trying to take on too much. You're trying to learn too much, and this can just make your body go, wow, or your mind just freak out. It's like it's too much. You can't take it all in. So your other gifts have to almost lay dormant, temporary, so that you can develop these new gifts and focus on one thing at a time, get really good at that, and then the next one will come out, and the next one will come out. So that's how it sort of works. Next, we'll look at Spirit Guide Ascension. As you grow spiritually, your vibration will constantly change and be rising, and so do your spirit guides. We all have a wide variety of spiritual helpers who help us and guide us on a daily basis. We have life guides who are constantly with us from birth till death. We have spirit guides, higher level guides, and many, many other types of spirit guides. We have guides who help us with various areas of our lives. And once their work is done, then they will leave. And others will take their place and as and when needed. So we have guides who are with us from birth, and they're always with us, and we have other guides who come and go to help us through the different stages of our lives. As our vibrations grow and rise, we move into different stages of our development. The guides working with us at the time on our spiritual paths will need to grow so that they are on a higher vibration level. So they're on the same level than us or higher. What happens is these guides will then go off into what is called Ascension. This is where they need to raise their vibration so that their vibration is risen higher. And they will also learn new knowledge that they can better help us for where we are at the different stages in our spiritual growth. So it's basically our spirit guides, the ones who are working with us on our spiritual path. They'll help us till we get to a certain point. When our vibration raises higher and higher, then they will go off, they'll leave. They'll go and have ascension, learn new knowledge, and then come back so that they can help us with new knowledge to get us to the point where we're going to be moving to next on our ascension, on our journey. This ascension period can last anywhere from a month to a year or even more. Once they have learned all that they need to learn to teach us, they will return. They will come back. When these guides leave, you may feel completely lost or feel as though you have lost your best friend, especially for those of you who have really got to know your spirit guides by this point. You may feel so sad and not understand why. Why would your guide leave you, especially when you're developing and you're growing on your journey? Why would they leave? Where have they gone? You will feel their absence. You just feel it. You'll know that the spirit guide is not around you at that time. Please just trust and know that your spirit guide will return. There will be other guides stepping in to help you. You're not being left on your own. You won't be on your own. There will be another guide who will come and help you while your guide ascends and learns and grows so that they can come back to you. So they will return. That's the most important thing to remember. I've added on an extra section, which is spiritual transition. Important point that I must make is that as you go throughout your spiritual growth and your psychic development, you will go through many different transitional stages. These are spiritual transitional stages, spiritual awakenings, basically. Even the most experienced and professional psychic goes through goes through these transitions. So these transitions will go for the rest of your life. You'll always be going through different transitional periods at different points in your life. I know that I still go through some of them. I'm always going through them every now and again. Each transitional stage is an extremely important step in your growth. A transition is a new stage in your growth. It's a new awakening and in your development. Each time you reach a new level of awakening, you'll go through a different spiritual transition. Picture a ladder in your mind. Each step of this ladder is a new level of your development and your spiritual growth. As you reach a new level of your development, you go through a spiritual transition before being able to move up the ladder to the next level, the next stage. A transition can last anywhere from a week, a month, to even a year or more. How many or how long each transitional stage lasts depends on each individual person and each one's individual development journey. When we go through these stages, what is happening is we are moving up the ladder into the next stage of our development. Your vibration is rising higher, and you are linking and connecting with spirit and angels in a deeper and more meaningful way. Your vibration is just rising and rising. It is vital to go through these transitional stages in order to learn, to grow, and to develop. It is at these transitional stages that many people sadly give up their spiritual journeys. They find it so hard, just experience of going through a transition itself. They may find it too painful, too emotional, too turbulent, too stressful. It is vital to not give up, or else how can you ever move forward? A good example of what a transitional stage is think back to when you were very young and it was your first day at school or your first day at nursery school, for example. It was a very scary and daunting time. Imagine that, the great change of going to school for the first time ever. You have no idea what to expect. You're this tiny little child and it's daunting, it's scary. But you go, you have your first day at school, you meet many new people and you learn how to read, you learn how to write. And it takes a little while, but soon you get settled in and you adjust to school life. You get used to it. Yes, it was daunting on the first day. You didn't know what to expect. But now you're getting settled, you're making friends, you're getting an idea of what it's like. Then as time passes by, the time comes for you to leave nursery school. And it's time to start junior school or primary school. Once again, there is change, there's upheaval. You now have to move to a whole new level of your school life. And this can be really daunting, leaving the comfort of your nursery school, which you've got used to, and having to change schools, get new uniforms, meeting new teachers, making new friends. It can be quite a daunting and emotional time. But it takes a while, and before you know it, you're all settled in, and everything's running smoothly. You know what's what, you know where each classroom is, you've made friends, you're feeling settled, you're feeling grounded. And then comes a time when you have to leave junior school and go to high school. And once again, there's change, there's upheaval, and emotions run high. You know, starting high school is probably the most daunting. It's because you've gone from being the highest in the year at school, and all of a sudden you're the babies at school again as you go to high school. And as before, it takes a while for you to settle in, but you soon do. You settle in, everything runs smoothly, you make friends, and you get all settled, and life is stable. And then you go to college. And after college, there's work, and there's starting families. And so this is showing you an example of how we in our own lives go through different transitional periods. Each of these, from junior school, nursery school, high school, college, work, these are all different transitional periods in our life. And the same principle applies with a spiritual transition. And with each different transition we go through, we're learning, we're growing, we're developing. And then we move on to the next stage. We can even grow more and develop more, and it's a growing process, and it's exactly the same principle with going through a spiritual transition. If you decided that the emotional side, for example, of having to start junior school or high school or going to work or anything like that was too much and you said, I'm not doing it, then how would you ever learn? How would you ever grow? How would you ever move up that ladder and progress in your life if you never took that next step? So this is the same with spiritual transition. We have to go through these different emotional times. We have to go through all these different transitional periods to get to the point where we're trying to head to be well developed and to grow our gifts. Each transitional period can be, unsettling. It brings a lot of change, but it also brings a lot of growth and a lot of development. So I'm going to share with you some of the common transitional symptoms, the symptoms and side effects that you may feel from going through these different spiritual transitional periods. You may experience fatigue, feeling drained or tired all the time, having no energy, that you cannot sit down. You just want to keep doing stuff. So it can be from one extreme to the other, where one day you may just feel so exhausted, so drained, so tired. You just have no energy. You just feel exhausted. Then on other days, as you're going through these transitional periods, you may just have so much energy, to the point where you can't sit down, you're having a buzz and you're on the go. You may have days where you feel over-emotional or depressed. You may suffer from depression or low mood for a while. You may get overexcited and extra loving towards others, anxiety, having spouts of dizziness, or feeling giddy and spaced out. You may have days where you feel like you're taller or shorter. You feel like you're not in your own body. You may reflect back on your life a lot and need to discover what your life purpose is. You may have deep reflection on your own self, look back at your life and the experiences you had, why you've experienced the things you have. You may be drawn to wanting to heal childhood trauma, heal from things that you've never healed from. You'll be feeling the need to forgive others as well as yourself. Then you may get days where you're feeling very peaceful and very calm within, very collected. So these are just all different symptoms that you may feel during a spiritual transition. You may have days where you have very high confidence and you just feel this deep need to bring joy and happiness to the world. Where you'll have other days where you just feel like you need to deal with issues and hurts from the past that still affect you. You'll want to do a lot of self-healing work. And if you've been blocking out doing self-healing work, avoiding dealing with issues from the past, now's the time where you'll want to address these. You'll feel ready to finally heal from these, address them. Some of you may take up counselling. You may see a counsellor to help you with this. And even if you don't feel personally that you're ready to deal with these, life may just bring up things that you do need to deal with and force you in a way to deal with issues that need clearing out of your energy field so that you can move forward. You may find there's times when you feel hungry all the time or keep wanting to eat different foods. You may want to try new foods, be drawn to different things that are different. You may want to explore new areas, try out different experiences. You'll also want to drink a lot of water. The more you develop and grow spiritually, the more you really want to drink a lot of water. You'll want to get healthy and fit. And you may have other days where you just keep feeling ill all the time. You don't know why you're feeling ill. You'll do a lot of reflection on your life and the people in your life and the different situations in your life. You'll look at your connections and you'll feel a pull to move away from those who do not vibrate on the same level as you. You'll also see everything in a new light. You'll have a new perspective of people and situations and your life, as well as yourself. You become a lot more thoughtful. You may get days when you feel confused or lost. You may suffer from minor illnesses. So I just want to say one thing, going through a spiritual transition, through these different transitional periods, you're not going to have every single thing on this list. These are just examples of some of the things that people experience during a spiritual transition. So you may have one of these, or you may experience all of them, or you may experience just a handful. These are just common symptoms and side effects of going through different spiritual transitions. So let's read a few more, or tell you a few more. So you'll suffer from minor illnesses and feeling run down. You may get blurred visions, seeing what looks like heat waves and sparkly lights. Your vision might change. Some people even feel like they need glasses, and you go to opticians, and the optician says, your eyes are fine, but your eyes just don't feel fine. It's because they're readjusting. You're seeing more vibration now, more energy. You may feel a lot wiser than your years. Just have a deep sense of knowing and knowledge. You'll want to grow spiritually. You want to grow in knowledge. You may find that you just know things and you don't know how you know them. People could say to you, you seem to know so much. How do you know all of this? And you're like, I don't know. You just have a lot of spiritual downloads. People in your life will seem different. Their company may not be as stimulating anymore. Or other people who you connected with before, you didn't connect with as well. Now you'll be on the same vibration with them, so you'll connect more with them. You'll seek more stimulating conversations. You will have a need to want to be on your own and have quiet time. You'll have a deep passion for life and a great sense of love for others and the planet. You'll want to get more involved in like green projects and helping the planet and helping others, charity work, volunteering your time. You'll want to be surrounded by a lot of people. You may have stages where you feel lonely and you go through periods of loneliness. You'll feel the need for change and variety in your life. You may have a feeling of not knowing or a feeling of there is more to life than this. You want to find what's out there. You want to seek more in this life. Or you may go through periods when you're feeling really bored with life, where you doubt yourself and you doubt your abilities. You'll want to be near water. You'll feel drawn to water, drawn to the planet. You may question your spirituality, question things. You could have a low sex drive or go through periods of a very high sex drive. You may suffer from memory loss or fear that you're losing your memory, have trouble concentrating, suffer from headaches, sore throats, earache, pressure in your head or pressure on the sides of your head by your temples. You may experience loud ringing sounds in your ears. There's so many different symptoms that you could experience. Again, you're not going to get every single one on this list. This is just different experiences that people report that they've had during spiritual transitions. And some spiritual transitions, you may only have one or two of these, and another one, you may have another handful of them. So it's different for everybody. You may find that you go through periods where you have really good sleep. You sleep better than you've slept in years. And then other periods when you have insomnia and you just can't sleep and it's really frustrating. You may have a lot of new insights pouring into you, vivid dreams, bouts of creative inspiration. Your senses will be very heightened and very developed. You may find that you remember things very easily that you completely forgot about, things that you completely were out of your mind suddenly come back to you. You may be very sensitive to light and temperature changes, sounds, everything that's around you. Have periods of great clarity. You also feel a deep need to declutter your life, your home, to let go of whatever does not serve your highest good. You really will be wanting a declutter of your life, to completely declutter and change and variety, because you're growing, you're changing, you're evolving. So you'll find things will feel so different for you with each transitional period you go through. So that's all about spiritual transitions. We've now come to the end of this video. I hope you found this to be helpful. I wish you every bit of success on your spiritual journey and with your psychic development. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, share, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I do offer affordable development courses at my Etsy shop. There is a link in the video description of this video. Thanks again for watching, and I wish you all the very best.